What's up, guys? Thank you guys for coming back and watching another episode 3 of Capital Talks today. Today we have a very special guest. He's Drayson Little.
What's up, guys?
So Drayson, why don't you give a little backstory of who you are and coming onto our show. Thanks for coming on, by the way.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. So my name is Drayson. I do e-commerce. I've been in the e-commerce space for about 3 years now. I actually started affiliate marketing in high school, but I branched off into selling products online, specifically Shopify dropshipping and just reselling products. I've been able to generate about $2.2 million in revenue across all of my business platforms, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
That was how long did it take you to get that 2.2 million?
So I would say most of it was literally Q4 of 2019. So my business partners and we generated like $1.8 million in revenue in just 2 months from November and December selling a kid's product.
Okay. Yeah, and then you mentioned like Q4. Is that that's a term like it's specifically in the e-commerce space, right?
Yeah, so Q4 is pretty much the biggest quarter of the year. There's Black Friday, there's Cyber Monday, there's Christmas sales, and everyone's just buying online.
Yeah. And then how does that relate to in our day and age now, e-commerce is everywhere, right?
Exactly.
Like is still quick Q4 still going to be something that's still there, or is it going to be like it's always going to be trending? There's always something to sell online, right?
Yeah, so I mean, for e-commerce, you can sell things online any time of the year. It doesn't necessarily have to be Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. But the biggest quarter that most businesses see profit, like huge profit in, is Q4. And
all the holidays, right?
Exactly, all the holidays and pretty much everyone's just shopping, and that just will be a thing, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do in that case of like, let's say, the pandemic happened, also Chinese New Year's, right? But I want to make money on Q1. So how do you deal with that in the Shopify space?
Yeah, so pretty much all you'd have to do is you just have to order inventory in prep for the Chinese New Year. So you don't necessarily have to, wait 2 months for shipping times, because during Chinese New Year, all the suppliers shut down because of their celebration.
Yeah.
And all the shipping is delayed, all the suppliers are off work, all the factories are shut down because they actually take Chinese New Year very serious, like any other holiday that we take serious, like President's Day, Memorial Day, or any other day.
Yeah.
Is there any ways to find like US suppliers, and can you still make a profit?
Yeah, so you can use a ton of US suppliers, but the thing is it's going to be a little bit more expensive. A lot of people resell things on Walmart and Amazon to other people. So they'll find products on Walmart or on Amazon, relist them on OfferUp, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace for about 40 to 50% of a markup, and still be able to make a lot of profit just from doing that.
True.
Yeah. And you were that route you're talking about drop shipping, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so did you do any FBA or any wholesale with your e-commerce experience? No, not at all. So that's just testimony that like, hey, drop shipping, you can generate, like you said, 2.2 million.
Exactly.
Yeah, just using drop shipping is such a beginner friendly method, I feel like. I have a little experience too. I mean, I didn't generate as much as Drayson, but I understand how the business model works and how me and Moe, I'm pretty sure Moe, you have your roots in there as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I used to work for a dealership, Cadillac dealership. Nobody buys from Cadillac anymore, so I had a lot of.
What happened to Cadillac? No, I barely see their cars. Is that?
I mean, they're
just
still
branding?
selling. I mean, they sell GMC, Buick, and then also Chevy. They're GM, right? So they sell other cars. The thing is that we were mainly selling Cadillac and used cars, so we didn't really have that much customers. So with the free time, I bought a $3,000 dropshipping course, and at that time, I actually learned more from YouTube than that course.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research. I mean, to be honest with you, to find my first product on Amazon dropshipping, it took me a whole day. My first product. Then I got better and better. So then it took me like 5 minutes to find one product, like profitable product. Then it took me a minute to find another one. So it's just like I got better and better. And while the store or the dealership was dead, I used to just like do a lot of product research, add the listing onto the Amazon seller, and then I started getting sales. I got once I started the course, I think I got my first sale on the first week. And it just got easier and easier. But I used to see 30-40% margin back in 2016. And right now, people don't see that anymore because it's kind of saturated. That's why I moved on to Walmart.
Yeah.
And as you know, Walmart is really hard to get in. So I think that is not going to get saturated as Amazon because the application process is really hard.
I mean, I feel like it could get saturated, but it's such a much. You have a longer time frame, like just because it's so new.
It's too early.
It's
like,
too
it
early.
Just started.
Yeah, exactly. Like similar to how crypto works. I think we all here, everyone here in this room has a similar experience to crypto. Drayson, you said you want to improvise on that. I know you mentioned off camera something about crypto. What are your thoughts on crypto?
Yeah, so crypto is huge. It's sort of like a decentralized currency in a way where people can have some sort of store of value and use that, whether it be have a store of value or have a fundamental use for something, whether it be creating a decentralized Facebook. Those software developers can create a platform and another form of social media that is not really controlled or regulated by the government, using, let's say, Ethereum as the gas tank. And for example, like Bitcoin, there's 21 million Bitcoins. It's like the first crypto to exist. So that's why it sort of has that store of value, because one, it's so limited. There's only 21 million Bitcoins that are going to be produced, or just the total supply in general. And people understand that the government is printing so much money into our economy, and we're in almost $30 trillion in debt. And people are starting to realize it doesn't make any sense why we're printing so much money and there's not much inflation going on, right? We're printing so much money. I mean, last year in 2020 alone, we printed 25% of our total supply, right? That's a ton of money, right? We just got the $2 trillion stimulus that just was approved. Last year we had another 1.9 or $3 trillion stimulus. We just keep printing money. So that's why people are starting to look into crypto and be like, hey, this isn't really sort of, regulated by the government, and it's more freedom to the people.
Exactly. Right? And I think that's that topic that kind of like entertains a lot of these people, is that, hey, you're jumping into, like, we want to talk about the stimulus as well. And with the stimulus, Jason mentioned, it's just government's just printing money and they're just basically creating it out of thin air. So the value of that dollar is definitely, it's like people nowadays, I feel like they're getting more woke in terms of the US dollar and transitioning into like the digital means in terms of crypto. What are your thoughts? Like, what do you project crypto to be like years down the line?
So I'm not a financial advisor or anything, but I definitely see that, as we go on, more people start to adapt to, the crypto topic. They'll start to realize that it's actually like, a tangible asset that people will actually enjoy keeping because there's some sort of value. Before, the dollar used to be backed by gold, but then Richard Nixon basically took that off and said, we're not going to back the dollar with gold. So now, you can see they're just printing money, but you can't necessarily do that with Bitcoin, for example. There's 21 million Bitcoin. There's about 8 billion people. So not everyone can have enough Bitcoin. So that's why it's going to be so limited compared to the US dollar, because we keep printing money out of thin air.
And I also think, like, with crypto is that a lot of big companies like Tesla and, they're talking about how they're investing into the crypto market, especially Bitcoin, right? So if 1% of any company goes into that, the prices of it's going to go up. And people trust, like, people love Tesla, right? So, like, they have a following, they have a cult. So once Elon Musk tweets something about Bitcoin or any other coin, as you know,
like Dogecoin,
Dogecoin, it just went up, right? So, and then also with the stimulus check, I think, like, even though people are really happy that they're getting the $1,400, but they don't know that they're paying for higher gas prices, higher groceries right now. So it's like plus and minus, and it's not really going into. Technically, they didn't get the $1,400 unless they invest into that, like, actual business, or investing into fixing their credit or flipping something, They're basically getting paid to pay back the government that money in inflation. So it's like, it's a loop, it's an endless cycle. And you did mention also, like, what should people do? Like, what do you think people should do with that $1,400? You did mention investing into it. I mean, something. If you've had bad credit, a lot of people, messed up their credit during the pandemic, right? I think it's really good to invest at least half of it to either learn about credit or fixing on your own, or pay someone to fix your credit. Then take the other half to invest into, like I said, buy a lot of products from eBay and flip it on Facebook Marketplace, offer up. I think that'll be like really cool because they can really double their money. And if you have experience with cars, buy a junk car, sell it for more. That's what I used to do with my tax returns.
Yeah, so to piggyback off what Mo said, the reason why fixing your credit is good is because you will realize that a lot of the things that you're paying, like for example, your car and your mortgage, is based off your credit score. The interest that you pay is based on your credit score. So if you have a really bad credit score, you're pretty much just paying them extra interest for no reason, right? Because they consider you a high risk lender or a person who's borrowing money from them. So instead of paying really low interest, since you have a bad credit score, they're gonna hit you with that high interest, and you're gonna be paying twice the amount of the car over that 5-year period.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like another reason why you should probably look into investing into your credit and building that so you pay less in interest when it comes to mortgage or car loan.
Yeah, and piggyback off of that into like you can even relate that for something that we can all relate to is health. If you don't take care of your health in the future, it's going to cost you. You're going to have to spend more money to pay for those medical expenses, your dentist expenses, whatever relating to your health. And for Drayson, he's going the financial approach. You don't fix your credit now, you're gonna pay back a lot more money. It's gonna cost you a lot more money through mortgage interest, your car loans, because at the end of the day, everyone needs a place to stay, and everyone needs to be able to move places through a car loan. So you have to get those things right. You have to as we get older, we have to think about the long-term haul, and that includes your health, your credit. What are some other things I
would say just also building a decent investment portfolio, right? Whether it be taking a percentage of what you make every month and putting it into the stock market or even cryptocurrency, because as those assets increase, the dollar just remains the same. So an example of that is if you had $10,000 just sitting in the bank, back in the day, you actually would get paid interest on that money because there was actually inflation. You'd get paid around 10 to 15% per year. But now, since there's no inflation and rates are super low, the banks are literally paying you 0.0009% off of that $10,000. So you want to be able to diversify, invest your money into an asset that is appreciating over a period of time. And that goes back to what you said when it comes to setting up a plan for your future, because if you don't do it now, it's going to hurt you in the future.
Yeah. And in terms of, so what is your recommendation in terms of do you believe crypto is a better move, stocks is a better move, dividends or whatnot?
So I mean, personally, I would just, if you're not experienced into the stock market, you have no idea what companies to invest in, don't just just guess, right? Do some research on a couple ETFs, like the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and just look at those specific sort of groups of ETFs and invest in those sort of ETFs because they pay anywhere from 5 to 7% per year, and that's based off the last 100 years. And then also what you can do is you can invest into a form of cryptocurrency, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, XRP, and there's a ton of other altcoins that are a lot cheaper that you can invest in, like Uniswap, Omni, and a few others.
Cardano.
Yeah, Cardano is really good. But I would definitely just try to minimize of just keeping a ton of cash in the bank and just invest into other things. Don't put your entire money into investments because you always want to have a form of safety. Right?
You gotta have to make sure you have your eggs in different baskets. You don't put everything in one place, and make sure you for your investing portfolio, you definitely don't want to put all your money into Bitcoin. And we saw that in the past with people refinancing their mortgage and putting that money into Bitcoin, and it dropped. And what happened was they sold at a loss, but then it's a bad move because a lot of people trade on fear, or they invest out of fear.
I think it's really good to diversify your income too. Let's say if you want to have your money work for you, right? Let's say if you have $100,000, put $20,000 in different businesses that's going to give you passive income and generate income for you. And if something, let's say 2 of the businesses shut down, worst case scenario, something happened to 40% of your income, the other 60% can make up for that. But if you invested all your $100,000 into a business and now you have zero money, you can't come back from that, right?
Exactly.
So always diversify your income when it comes to investing. Don't. There is high risk, high reward, but I rather play it safe with my money because I don't want to go homeless, you know?
Yeah. It's like you have to find a fine threshold between playing safe and playing risky. Like you don't want to play too safe in life, but you have to have some risk to like get anywhere. And I feel like what Mo said about having a passive source of income, I feel like everyone here, we can all agree to that. And like, it's not about money. It's about just creating all these sources of income, multiple streams, so you can just live your life and do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah, and another thing is like, if you want to have, an extra form of passive income, and you made a ton of money, and you don't know what to do with it, you can invest into dividend stocks that actually pay you percent every single year. So it's called the 4% rule. So if you want to make $40,000 a year passively, then you need to have $1 million into a dividend stock that pays about 4% per year. And that 4% is taxable, but at a really low tax bracket. So that's just another way of building a passive income, is just using your money and investing into a dividend stock that pays annually around 3 to 5%.
Yeah, and then if you invest into a good stock, of course the value of it is going to go up. So it's like a slow growth.
Yeah, so like for example, a good topic is Tesla, right? A lot of people back in the day were like, Tesla's gonna go bankrupt, Tesla's trash, right? Everyone was shorting Tesla, just like how they were shorting GameStop. And now look at Tesla. Tesla has a market cap of over $500 billion now, and they went from $50 a share to like $2,500 a share, and then they split. So that was sort of like a high risk, high reward type scenario. Is you're investing into a speculative company that may pay big, but keep in mind, whatever you invest, be prepared to lose it at any time. Because Tesla could have went bankrupt, right? They were close to even just throwing in the towel and going bankrupt. But Elon Musk is a genius, and he pulled through, and he's trying to make a difference in the world now.
Yeah, and the thing with investing is like you just have to make sure that whatever you put in that portfolio, if you were to lose that, you wouldn't go homeless. Like you'd still be okay. Yeah. And I think that's the kind of the flipping point in your brain where you have to understand that. You can't trade any emotions, and it's just like you have to make calculated risk, and that's what all investing is really.
Yeah. And you're investing for the long term, right? So it doesn't matter if you're buying Tesla or Apple at $100 a share, $95 a share, because when you're buying that specific stock, you're preparing for the long term, 15, 20, 25 years down the line. So for example, last year we had the COVID pandemic, right?
Yep.
And people were like, oh, the stocks are going to zero, everything's going to zero, and everyone started panic selling, right? Yeah. But all those people who started panic selling lost a ton of money, because what happened? Yeah. Jerome Powell freaking pump the freaking money supply, investing it back into the stock market, and it went back up, and everyone was thinking like, oh, it's going to go to zero, right? So don't let things like that fear you out of the market, right? You have to come into the market, any market, crypto, stocks, and be prepared. There's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be like a roller coaster, but down the line, it's going to be up, right?
It's crazy because there's like on social media, it's funny because I feel like half of the friends of my friends that I'm following, they became stock traders within the pandemic. Like everyone started getting into stocks, and that's kind of how it kind of grew.
Yeah, like Robinhood, just like everyone was downloading Robinhood. It was like the top
everyone became a stock trader during that pandemic. I mean, it's good. I mean, if you made money, really, kudos to you. But that just shows like the world is just especially with the pandemic, the world's just changing, and you just have to learn how to adapt. Yeah, and that's it.
If you don't adapt, you'll pretty much get eaten alive by the environment.
Yeah. You guys have any closing thoughts?
No, I think that's it for this video. Thank you guys for coming to Capital Talk. Thank you for Drayson to come in.
Appreciate it.
We'll drop his YouTube video too. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.